You know, I tried to tell y'all. I tried to tell y'all. Hold on. I'm sitting on Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving evening. Stomach's full. I've eaten very well. Spending a beautiful time with my family. My sister Carmen hooked me up. You know what I'm saying? Very, very good evening. Hold on. And then what happens? As if I needed another reason to laugh. As if I needed another reason to smile. Josh Allen, some second-year quarterback, rolls into Jerry World looking like the second coming of Joe Montana. Oh, I'm sorry, Lamar Jackson. You know, first take's going to be beautiful tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do. I was tired. I was sleepy. But not anymore. Hey, y'all. How about them Cowboys? I'll see y'all tomorrow. Oh, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to come up with something. I don't know what yet, but I'm going to come up with something. I'm going to say it again for you. How about them Cowboys?
Okay, James Slater has just tweeted, NFL Media's James Slater, as the Cowboys players entered the locker room and closed the door, we could loudly hear one player passionately yelling about the loss. It was extreme, whatever was being said, and whoever it was. Jane will be in the locker room interviewing the players in just a moment, and she'll be able to
you would expect
maybe elaborate on that. Yeah, I mean, for those who don't realize this, at the end of every NFL game, the players go back into the locker room and then they bar the door. They shut the door. No reporters are allowed in for 10 minutes. It's referred to as the 10-minute cooling off period because winning teams want to have that 10 minutes in their football family to celebrate. And the teams that come out on the other end, they gotta cool off for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand the expectation for the Cowboys this year was so high. It was like, this is the year.
We were all at training camp this summer.
I mean, right? It was crazy, right? It was awesome. Everyone's excited about it. Zeke wasn't there. You finally get Zeke back. You start off 3-0. It was all these great things, and now you're 6-6. And I understand the frustration
with a new offense and a new play caller.
Right. So there's a ton of frustration going on right now. Where whoever it might have been, they're definitely justified in saying that. You just have to understand how you say it is important. Like what you say, but how you say it. If you're yelling, make sure that you're looking at yourself, that you're not making mistakes in that situation. There's been times as a player that I've done that, and I've gone out and make mistakes. The guy's like, bro, like you can't, like what are you doing? Like you told me to do this, and you're doing that, right? So.
MJ, hold that thought for a second. We have just been told from AT&T Stadium that Jerry Jones has just met with the media and said that this is where we're at these days, Jason Garrett will not be fired after this game, is what he said. But if we're at this place right now where they're going to ask him after every loss, is this time? It's bad situation.
It's really not bad. I mean, again, Jerry Jones is emotional. This is his baby. He's proud of this team and this organization.
And he's the only owner that's the general manager as well.
But when you go on talk radio and you're passionate, you're emotional about things, and sometimes being passionate, emotional, we say things that we really don't want to let out. You say, like, we got to win. This is one we have to win. Well, then what if you don't? Like, as soon as you don't win, everyone will say, like, well, so what's next? And so in this situation, I think you kind of have to look at yourself and say, hey, like, because now you've created this storm.
But in this business, I think you have to play it out. I mean, look, they're 6-6. You got a big game in Philadelphia. You got these games against Chicago. Like, you got to play it out. If you end up 10-6, you get a home playoff game, and you're rolling. You got a 4-game win. I mean, it can happen. You can change in an instant. So you got to play this thing out. I don't think this is.
All right, I think we're getting some movement at the podium right now. The Buffalo Bills beat the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are 6-6, still first place in the division, but not where they want to be in the back half of the season. Here is the head coach from the Dallas Cowboys, Jason Garrett, at the podium.
Not done. You started off really well with the touchdown on the first drive, and it seemed like things kind of went downhill from there. What happened after the first drive, really?
there were a lot of different things that happened throughout the ball game. I do think it was a good start for us, going down and scoring a touchdown at the outset of the game. Offensively, I thought we had too many drives where we were able to drive the ball and we didn't cash in. Had a couple missed field goals, and later on in the game we weren't able to convert a fourth down in there close. The 2 turnovers obviously hurt us, gave them favorable field position. The defense did a good job responding for the most part in those situations, but you can't do that against a team like this. We found some things that we like. We were able to move the ball at different times, but certainly weren't efficient enough to cash in on the drives like we needed to. On the defensive side of the ball, they did a good job. They ran the ball fairly consistently. Their quarterback did a really good job, delivering throws in critical moments and also running with the ball, keeping their drives alive. And they did a better job cashing in on their drives than we did.
With everything that was on the line today, are you surprised that this was what was put on display?
Yeah, obviously we didn't get the job done. They're a good football team, and we didn't do what we needed to do to win the game. And again, when you play a team like this, you got to cash in on your drives. You can't lose the turnover battle 2-0. And give them credit. They did a really nice job. We didn't do a good enough job, and we have to learn from it and move on.
At the end of the third quarter, you had a play there on fourth down. Just your thoughts on that play? Dak was incomplete to Zeke on the throw.
Yeah, we're down in there close, went forward in that situation. We just felt like that was the right thing to do, to try to score a touchdown. They heated us up, and, I think we had a decent opportunity. Have to look at it on tape. Obviously, we weren't able to complete the ball out on that left flat. And so, unfortunately, we didn't execute that particular play and finish the drive the way we wanted to.
On the 2 missed field goals by Maher, did you see anything about his mechanics different today?
Yeah, we'll have to look at that on tape.
End of the first half, what was your thoughts on the thought process going down? You had like a timeout left and you didn't use it. What was your thoughts there, just trying to get things going?
Yeah, it was a third down situation, and we wanted to bleed the clock. And once we converted the third down, I think there were 40 or so seconds left. That's when we're going to use our timeouts. So we used it in those situations. Having the timeouts allows you to complete the ball inside, but I'll have to go back specifically and look at the plays, but I think we had incompletes. We had balls that went out of bounds, so ultimately we weren't able to use the timeout relative to the time left in the half there. So had a good opportunity there. It was a good drive, and unfortunately we didn't make the kick.
Do you believe you and your staff have the trust and faith of your players after what's transpired at being 6-6 and with 4 games to go?
Oh, absolutely. Our guys come to work. Our guys, we have a fantastic group of guys, and they do things the right way each day, and unfortunately we didn't get the job done today.
What's your thoughts on how Dak played today? It looked like he missed a couple of throws at times and got a touchdown.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and look at the tape, on Dak and really everybody on our team. Again, at times I thought we moved the ball well, and the biggest issue was not really cashing in on those drives consistently enough in the game. And when you come away with goose eggs on those drives against a good team like this, it's going to hurt you in the end. And that's on everybody, and we got to do a better job in those situations.
What was the thought process on going on it from 4th and 1 from your own 20?
Early on? Yes, sir. Yeah, just, once it became inches, we just felt like we could make that and try to keep that drive alive.
How do you recover from this? It's 6 losses now in the last 9 games.
Yeah, you just got to get back to work. That's the nature of the National Football League. It's hard every week. You're going to deal with adversities over the course of the year. You're going to deal with successes over the course of the year, and you have to learn from them and move on and get ready for the next challenge.
Are you seeing a passion throughout the game with your guys?
Yeah, again, I thought our guys played hard. We didn't play well enough. They did a good job in critical moments, converting some third downs and keeping their drives alive, with some short passes or a quarterback run here or there. And, again, offensively, I thought we moved the ball, fairly well throughout the game, but we didn't get enough for those drives. And, to me, ultimately that was the story of the game. And when you have those 2 turnovers where we get nothing on the drive and they get favorable field position, that's what these games come down to. So, we'll go back and look at it. We'll go back and try to learn from and try to get better from this experience today.
Do you know at this point the seriousness of Connor Williams' knee injury?
Connor hurt his knee, and then he went back in, and then he hurt it again. So we don't know the seriousness of it yet, but he was not able to come back into the ball game after he hurt it the second time.
Do you need a new kicker?
We'll evaluate the kicking situation. You know, we need to make those kicks. You know, Brett's done a really good job for us over the course of his time here, but, you know, we'll evaluate that situation just like we'll evaluate everything else.
Your thoughts on how you pass rush?
A forensic assessment from the Dallas Cowboys head coach. Not going to make anyone feel better, I don't think. Not that you're going to feel better after, post-game comments from 2 straight losses where you're 6-6 and still first place by themselves in the NFC East.